signing in. One person greeted another person. Oh, isn't it nice outside? It really warmed up. Only in Minnesota would you say that. It's still below 32, but still it warmed up and we're happy. So glad to see you. Thank you. And do we have some new members? Yeah, thank you. And you are?
I'm Mara Morissette.
Tell me again. Mara. And from?
White Bear Lake.
White Bear Lake. Well, welcome. Thank you. And you have an online presence, is that correct? All right, can you tell me if anybody is sort of raising a hand or saying they're a new member as well? And how many people when you have a chance to look?
Not as many, because everybody came out the cold. I think there's about 15 online.
Okay, well, we had 141 on Thursday night too.
Wow.
That's not quite record breaking, but it's still really close. So thank you to everyone who attends. I hope you get a chance to deposit your ticket into one of the door prizes. For in-person, we have 2 show admission passes. We have the newest edition of Quilt Mania magazine, and then one of the totes, one of the teal tote project bags that was merchandised last year. And then for those viewing online, we have a $25 gift certificate to Twin Cities Quilting. So make sure it's stay on till the end of the show if you're online, and then make sure you put in the chat your name and address so we can send that to you. Well, our program was there something on the agenda? I'm doing, okay. I don't want to miss one of my cues here. Our program today is with Robin Long of Robin with Designs, and I had the pleasure of meeting her last fall in Houston. Just a beautiful booth, and when you see the quilts that she's going to show during her program, you can just imagine twice as spectacular in person. So she developed this piecing, it's a strip piecing ruler to make the Mariner's Compass, so it's no paper piecing. And this was a quilt block that was on her bucket list because her husband was in the Navy, in the submarine, and she thought that that was the appropriate quilt to make for him. So after struggling with the traditional way of making a Mariner's Compass, she thought that this has to be easier. And after several tries, and she was able to develop these 2 rulers, and she'll talk to you about the fat and the skinny Mariner's Compass. But don't think of it as just the traditional, big, center medallion, and then it looks, like it's from the 1800s. No, she has some really updated versions of putting this together and kind of taking it apart. So you're just using a quarter of it or a half of it, and it gets a very modern look. She's internationally known as a quilt teacher. She travels the country now that travel is available again. Designs fabric for Free Spirit, Wyndham, and Clothworks, and her inspiration comes from art, architecture, and nature. So welcome, Robin.
All that, Kate. Well, I'm there.
Quick announcement.
I'm going to the gallery so we can see everybody. First of all, I'm turning 60 as well. So I know and my husband in the back has treated all of us to cookies. So he brought some cookies and sash today. I'm the licensed show director. I just want to give you a tour of the room before the break because I want you to visit all these things going on at break. Okay, Marie.
One more pause.
Okay.
Work it.
Okay, Anne, are you ready to follow me?
Right.
Okay. Anne is gonna follow the owl. So over here, we have the merchandise crew, Louise, woohoo, and Wynn is helping, and she has nothing to do with merchandise. So you can buy your challenge packet still, okay? Probably kind of like your last chance if you want to get it done. There's some masks for the banquet. If you're not gonna make your own, we can get you started. And back here, is the owl following me? Yeah, okay. So back here is a build your own marketing packet for your local guild that you belong to. How many of you belong to something besides Minnesota Quilters? Okay, Zoomers, how about you guys? Are they raising their hands? Okay, so the people in the room, the roomers, can put together a guild packet. I want you to write down your guild name and your name so I know who's taking them. Just one packet per guild. We have some info about the guilds that we know about that we know needs to be updated. So if you could help with that. And then you're gonna take an envelope, a letter of ideas of how your guild can get involved in the show. Those include fun things like pick a day that you go together and you wear crazy costumes. Has anybody been to the Houston show? When you go to the Houston show, there are people that are wearing wacky outfits. And we need to start that at the Minnesota show, right? Okay.
Hillary are doing their part.
Okay. Your guild can also join the Connect table. We started that last year where your guild gets a 2-hour block. You can sell your raffle tickets, whatever you want to do, get new members. And there's contact information about that. Your guild can put together a bus and bring your whole guild to the convention center. Some other ideas, okay? And then there's a handout called Minnesota Quilters A to Z that we'd like you to share with your guild. Take a couple of those. There is an ad, if your guild would like to put an ad in a show guide. Please take, I printed way too many of these. Please take several of these and cut them up. This is a do-it-yourself thing, so you have to do your own cutting. This is to give out to people that work with their youth in their area or their grandchildren to make quilts for the show. And then take a stack of these. They're about 25 in a stack, and you'll have to pull them apart and separate them out. But this is that registration guide that a lot of you already have. Okay, so that's your build your guild table. And then sewing for others.
Lots of kits always, and lots of quilts that need quilting.
There you go. So quilting for others. And then over here, oh, sorry, Anne, are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's head's following, and the owl thing has to follow too and swivel. Okay. So this, I have to say thank you. We had a lot of volunteers work on this project. This is a lot of work to put these packets together. So we have packets to go out to 450 quilt shops in the 5-state area and all the retreat centers in Minnesota. So what you are going to do, if you want to take a road trip, who wants to go to a quilt shop, right? Okay. So these are split up by regions. We have Post-it notes up here for Minnesota only because those are the high demand ones. But Wisconsin and Iowa, we got maps in case you don't know where things are. And the Minnesota ones are organized by categories of regions. So these shops are in the Northeast and so forth. So the map kind of shows. So you're going to take a Post-it note that you like. Then, okay, then we're going to go over here. You're going to find a bin that has a Post-it note that matches the color. It says on the outside, like blue is Metro. And then you're going to find the packet in here that goes to the quilt shop. I have to tell you, we have experienced the really cheap envelopes we bought, the labels did not stick. And so Rita sat and taped all those labels on. So thank you, Rita. Oh, and Linda, yes. So they're organized. All the Minnesota ones are here. If you're going to Iowa, grab some packets. If you're going to North and South Dakota or Wisconsin, they're over here, okay? Now, what if you don't want to travel? What can you do, Laura? Well, this is your idea.
Oh. If you don't want to travel, then we're asking you to adopt a quilt shop and take it to the post office. And you know, did you check on the postage? What it is? $3. So contribute $3 for some postage and mail it off. We really appreciate you doing that. And you forgot to mention that when you drop off these packets at the local shops, make sure you hug the owner or the manager or your favorite salesperson there and have a picture, and then we can put that up on our Facebook and continue to promote the show and our activities.
And I should tell you what's in the packet. There's information for the quilt shop and the retreat center of how they can get involved in the quilt show. There are some, there's one of the registration guides, and this year we're making We have what's called a rack card. Find one that's not sealed. Well, there's cards that are in there that are 4x7s that we had made for us. And so they'll get a stack of those to hand out to the customers. They'll have some information about the youth quilts and a few other goodies. So please talk to them, invite them to be a vendor. And if they have questions about the show, my business card is in there. When?
How soon do you want them delivered?
Oh, how soon? I would love to have these out in the shops by March 1st, because that's when the All Minnesota Shop Hop starts. So we're gonna ride their tailwinds, what's like tail, yeah. Coattails, there you go. I think that's it. Are we ready for break?
Yes, ready for break?
Okay, go have some cookies.
As you leave, we should sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brenda. Happy birthday to you. All right, well, it's not a big crowd, so I think we can get through the refreshment line in about 6 minutes. Just a reminder, the free table is there. If you find something, it's always nice to kick in, a little donation. And if you brought something for the free table and if nobody took it, then please take it back home and donate it to wherever it is, Goodwill or some other place that can use it. Don't leave it here. See you in 6.
I get a couple minutes.
Sure, so
Yes. I found the fabric and I'm kind of a pink person and it was the whole thing, the navy and everything kind of going together. So
Yep.
Got that baby done.
Hi, I'm Candace Clemens. I live in Maple Grove and I'm new here. Hi. Thank you. And me and my family went to visit Cross Lake for vacation this past summer. And while I was there, I wanted to visit a quilt shop that I'd never been to. So I went to a quilt shop in Brainerd. I'm afraid I don't remember the name of it. But my 10-year-old daughter helped me pick out this fabric because I didn't really have a quilt in mind. So I bought a couple of charm backs. I like pre-cuts because I like the scrappy look. And she picked out the fabric and she said, I said, this would be great for Valentine's to hang behind the couch. Because I like to have, my goal is to have one for every season to hang behind the couch. And she said, I want a big heart in the middle and little hearts on the sides. And so I put this together. And so my 10-year-old helped me with design and fabric. I'm trying to talk her into it. I asked her if she wanted to try doing a pillow to go along with it, but so we'll see if she wants to. She says she wants to, but I haven't talked her into like actually doing it at the time.
Everybody clap if you think her daughter needs to make a quilt.
Okay. That's it.
are we ready for our Zoomers show and tell? Yeah, no,
I'm trying to say.
we lost them.
No, they're
They're out in the atmosphere. They're circling the building.
I don't think there are any from there.
All right, are there any other announcements?
I got a whole bunch.
I was gonna say, oh, Mia, while she's working at that.
So we're gonna go back to
Good morning, members. I'd like to first welcome all the new members. We have so many new members. Can you guys raise your hands if it's your first time coming in as a member? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have a new person we're trying to convince to be a member there. One of us. Anyway, this is really great. We like seeing new members, right? Who doesn't love that? So welcome, thank you for coming. Hope you have enjoyed your time. If we can help in any way, we are here at your service. Couple of cool announcements from membership. Again, Jan had already mentioned your packets are out there, so get your packet, yay. Next month, we are going to have, March 18th is National Quilting Day. I'm sure you've seen some stuff from different organizations. The International Quilt Museum's doing stuff, Quilt Alliance does announcements. We are going to have a quilt-a-thon on Zoom. So from early in the morning till late at night, we're gonna quilt all day on Zoom, work on whatever projects you have, but we're also going to be asking for people to do like a 20-minute schoolhouse, just what we do in September, only on Zoom, to show some beginner techniques, maybe some advanced techniques. We'll see what we do. That way we can bring beginners in. We bring everybody in from inside the state. It's gonna be a Minnesota statewide initiative, so we'll be sending information out. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. We need to finalize all the bits and bobs. So come quilt with us on International Quilting Day, bring your friends and have a wonderful time. Another initiative that we're looking to do, and that's gonna start today, is lunch after the event. So if you're not going to a quilt shop immediately after the meeting, which totally go to a quilt shop if you're going. Hooray quilt shop, and hooray show. We'll gather out here and find a place to go to lunch, and that way we get to spend some time with each other and get to know one another. I think that's something that we miss, especially with the pandemic, and with our new members, it's a great way to get to know some people, get coordinated and find other people to quilt with, which is always a win, right? So yay. Other than that, we still always need volunteers at the meetings. You know, I had to come up and say holders and folders and photographers. Think about it when you come to meetings. It's a great way to engage and be a part of the story. And that I think is everything for membership. No, Linda's doing Dawn. So I'm gonna pass it off to the wonderful Linda Coesfield from MQP.
Everybody. Let's see, I have a kind of a two-pronged thing. Next month, the program is hosted by the Minnesota Quilt Project, which we do a program annually in conjunction with, or reflecting what our interests are. So the speaker will be Dawn Cook Bronigan, and she is a fabulous collector of quilts and fabrics and old-fashioned quilting traditional things, for those of you who love that. And she's going to have two programs. Thursday it will be a Zoom meeting, and that one is important because she will be focusing on individual fabrics in some of her charm quilts. She has a wonderful charm quilt collection, and so she'll be able to do, you know, close-ups of those fabrics and talk about her quilts. On Saturday, we're having a hybrid meeting, and she will be here with some of her quilts. Again, I think we're just focusing on charm quilts for that. So you'll get a closer look at it. And speaking of charm quilts, the Minnesota Quilt Project's booth will be focusing on highlighting charm quilts. So if any of you have any vintage, not this was in the 90s, I guess that's almost vintage. So if any of you, there's two things. If you have any old ones, let us know. And if you have any new ones or want to quickly make a small new one, Laura is putting together a special exhibit, and there are a few guidelines for that.
Just a few, and they don't have to be traditional fabrics, repro fabrics or whatever. If you have some great K fabrics or Tula Pink fabrics, and I think of all of her collections, you can put together a charm quilt. If you're not sure what a charm quilt is, we did talk about it in the newsletter. I'll print that again for next month. But it's you pick one as you noticed. Can you go back to our slide or no? I think those are hexagons. So you pick a shape and you use that shape over and over again, but each time you cut that shape, it's out of another
And it can be
fabric.
as simple as squares.
It can be
doesn't have to be
squares.
paper piece or anything.
No, right, it can be anything you like. It can be strips. I had a friend who made the rail fence, and she did it with the blues on the outside and the lights on the inside. Every single one was different.
So I need to get after her to say, take that out. We need it for the exhibit. So make it as hard or as easy as you like it to be, whatever your stash, whatever your favorite collection, or style of fabric is. And I'm going to do that. Yes, yes. 200 total. So that can be 50 square, 200 total inches. It can be oblong. Mary?
This is for the quilt shows?
Yes, this is for special exhibits. Yes, so we kind of started that last year with sort of log cabins. So coordinating with what NQP, and for those of you who are new, Minnesota Quilt Project, they're our group that sort of focuses on historical quilts, documenting quilts in the state. And so they had antique log cabins from personal collections, and then I had antique quilts that were contributed to special exhibits. So we'd love to see what you want to bring, because that will tell us who you are as a quilter and what you like to do. It's a nice reflection of your quilting style and interests.
Yes, so please participate. Thank you.
Thank you. And then QUILTER'S MOSAIC is a program that we're doing. If you are a longtime Minnesota Quilters member, you'll remember we used to have something called a lecture series. And 4 times a year, we would bring in a professional quilter who was very well-renowned. And she would come in and do a lecture, sometimes a class. And then we revived that, call it QUILTER'S MOSAIC, now that we can connect with people around the world via Zoom or any of the new technologies that are there. And so Mary Carr is going to be with us on Friday, March 31st. We do that in the evening to make it available to those of you who work. And then it's interesting how we need to renegotiate some contracts now, because we do know you'd like to see her, but gee, that's a date night for you, maybe. Don't wish. But remember how that used to work. But in the contracts now, we're getting the presenters to give us some access for 48 hours. So that, yes, sign up, pay the registration, and then if you can't make it the day of the initial presentation, it will be available for 2 other days. Now, people might think, oh, good, that means Saturday and Sunday. Not exactly, because we will record it, but then our office manager needs to come in, she needs to download it, put it on our platform. You'll get an email with the link, and so chances are it will be like a Tuesday, Wednesday. It will be available for those 48 hours. So she's going to tell us how to take some vintage pieces or some blocks. We just learned that from the 90s, that's vintage now. Is that
It was 25 years ago.
all right. So if you have some of those and you're wondering, well, okay, I don't want to make a quilt in this style anymore. What can I put it together with to kind of bring it up to date? And she has all kinds of ideas of how to do that, both with your setting and your quilting. So I think you'll find her very interesting in March. Next. And now we're ready for the show. Yes.
Is that free? How much is it to register?
We haven't set up the registration yet, but you will get an invite. And there is a cost for it.
Okay, I can do this slide. This is mainly for the Zoomers who can't buy stuff right now from in the house. That we do have an online shop. If you go to mnquilt.org, it's a link that's in the middle column of our website, which, by the way, we're working on updating that website. So stay tuned for that. But you can buy all sorts of things, including daily admission tickets and sneak preview for the quilt show. You can also donate to MQ to honor a quilting mentor. And maybe that'd be a cool idea for National Quilting Day on March 17th.
Oh, maybe. Oh, when you talk about me?
Yes, with you.
We'll just take you. Okay. As you notice, we've expanded our technology capabilities with this OWL and our Zooming and the new equipment we need. But we do like some more volunteers so that it doesn't fall on the same people every single month. I mean, you don't want to give up your Saturday every month. And once you see how it works, and we have a sheet that tells you step by step, we have photos that say, here's the slot that you plug this connector into. you will get the hang of it. But it'd be really nice if some of you would like to kind of shadow one of our techies up here and then learn how to do it. We do need some backup. We don't want people to come to a meeting, somebody's sick or has a flat tire, and we go, oh, now we can't do that because the one person who knows how to do that isn't here today. So anything that you think, might work for you, and even if you're not sure, shadow one of them, let them see how it works, and you might be surprised, well, I can do that. I mean, you're on Instagram, you do Zoom, you shop online. This is not that much different. So think about being part of our tech team.
Bring your child to do it.
Yes, question?
Are they bringing in their own laptop?
Currently we are, but we're gonna work on MQ. We have to get our MQ laptops up to Windows 11. Into the 2023, yeah. So we're working on that, yeah. I can do the Meet the Teachers sessions. How many of you have signed up for a class at the Minnesota Quilt Show already? Oh my gosh, that is a lot of you here. And Zoomers, I'm assuming it's the same for you. If you want to meet the teachers virtually, we have Meet the Teachers sessions. The dates are here, the faculty that have signed up. We are, oops, go back to that one. We're canceling this Thursday, the 23rd one, because we were able to get everybody in those other three. And so the Wednesday, February 15th will be sponsored by Gruber's so that they have an audience. Gruber's, by the way, has a new owner and they're staying open. That's awesome. So you can see who's going to be there. The way this works is that they join us. They do like a 10 to 15 minute preview of all their classes they're teaching for us. You get to ask questions like, is this too hard for me? Is there a lot of prep work? Whatever you need to know. And then after we will record these, put them on YouTube. Afterwards, if you decide that you need to change your registration because you're in the wrong class for you, it's the best if you call the office and let Deborah or myself take care of you. Otherwise, you might get caught in the refund policy and only get 80% back on the class you dropped, and then we don't want that to happen. We want to do the exchange for you. So they're all on Zoom via at 7 o'clock. The next one, the first one is next Thursday, and the Thursday Thimbleful that came out this week had the link to register, and we'll repeat that next Thursday too. Okay, now you can go next slide. Okay, challenge piece. This is my challenge piece. I'm not sure what's happening here, but this is the 2023 challenge packet. We have packets left. We have a lot of packets left, guys. I need to get those moved out, okay, and into your stash pile. Entry deadline is, oh shoot, this is wrong. April 18th. April 18th is the deadline for registration for all quilt entries, okay? You can buy them online. You can buy them here if you're in the room, if you're a roomer. And that's it for that. 2 colorways. One has flowers and one has outer space kind of stuff. And then you will exhibit that, you'll register that quilt that you make, and it will be in this year's show. So, Quilt Auction. Liz, there you go.
At the show, we raise funds for Minnesota Quilters. And we do this by running an online auction that the pieces are displayed at the show. So we can help you with the online auction process at the show, or if you are not at the show, you can still participate in the online quilt auction. So we'll have some more information in the upcoming Thimblefuls and monthly meetings about how to register and participate remotely. And we are counting on folks to bring us material that is beautiful and attractive and whimsical and fun and useful so that people can bid on these things. And we did really well in the last couple shows. So we photograph everything and try and display it. And it's nice also if we know who made it, because people will bid more if they know who made it. So, and we do need volunteers as these donations pour in. Hopefully they'll pour in. So how do you make a donation? You bring it here or mail it here and bring it to the meetings. I will be at the in-person meetings. And so we are able to give you an in-kind donation form so that you can take it off your Minnesota state taxes. So that is something we can do as well. And we have been known to occasionally filch something from the Quilting for Others. And so I was just admiring the really beautiful quilt that came in for the Quilting for Others, and I wondered if maybe we might
Borrow that.
embezzle that, put it in this.
Yeah.
So, thanks, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Just I wanted to add quickly, the Minnesota Quilt Project is also accepting any old blocks, old quilts, pieces of fabric. We're not going to do the silent auction this year, but they will be at our booth, so you can stop by, touch and feel, and bid on them or buy them outright.
And I think we made $4,000 last year at this. I hope that's right, but we were very happy with the results. Okay, quilt entry registration. We are working on that. We're hoping it'll be open next week. We are at the point of just testing it to make sure it works. But the website for quilt entry is now linked off the main show website. So you can read all the information, start getting your quilts lined up. And then when the registration is open, we will be sending out an email. So the main website, which is covered up here, lovely, is mnquilt.org/MQ2023. MQ 2023. And you can enter in all these categories, which is so cool. You just have to have made it in 2021, 2022, or 2023. Youth, you could enter, there we go. You can enter, help your kiddos, grandchildren enter, you start the process, and then for each of the 3 quilts that you enter, it's actually, you put in grandson number 1, granddaughter number 2, neighbor number 3 name, okay? Okay, so be watching for that. And the website has all the information about drop-offs and pickups and all that type of thing. And do we have any of our judged or not judged? I don't think we have any of those folks here today. No, okay, never mind. Okay, next one. Now it won't go. We're having troubles with this. PowerPoint won't advance all the time. This, by the way, is a quilt made, I think somebody up in Duluth, anybody remember who made that? It was called Every Which Way or something. And it was one of our security guards picked that as his favorite quilt and it got a ribbon. Or it is time to register chartered bus tours. So again, quilt guilds can do this, churches can do this, community ed, people who do this for a living, bus tour companies. That site is open and available for registration. And as those come in, we will publicize that so that if you want to hop on a bus, you can find out where those are coming from. So that is also off of our main website. And then the packets, just a reminder, here's a picture of what's inside the packet. This is what we call a rack card. And it is designed to sit in a rack on a countertop. So we want you, that's okay. We want you to like the Facebook page. Mia is our marketing person for the show. So we want to, if you're on Facebook, there's 3 sites. There's the official Minnesota Quilters Inc. site. There's the Minnesota Quilters Friends, and there's the Minnesota Quilt Show. So 3 different things to follow. So the Minnesota Quilt Show page will just be about the show, the vendors, sponsors, that type of thing. And then you heard about the packets for the quilt shops and the packets for the guilds. Zoomers, if you want a packet for your guild, send me an email and I will mail it to you. My email is showdirector@mnquilt.org. And I think that's the last slide, right? Yeah, so we stop that and then.
All right, door prizes now.
All right.
I think we'll do our Zoomers first.
I'm not quite ready for that.
Not right, well, then, all right, then I guess I'll be drawing for the Quilting Connects Us Project Tote. And no matter how many of these MQ comes out with, mine are all full. What can I say? So you know you need another one. So they're for sale, but this one is free to 476-540. All right, Diane Rose, okay. We have 2 admission tickets. So either for you or friend, 2 friends, this is a way to let people who aren't quilters, but acquaintances of yours to know what it is that you spend all of your time and money on. So you can invite them. And that goes to 476-542. 542. Woo! Congratulations. Yes, now you're coming. No question about it here. All right, and the newest issue number 153 of Quilt Mania magazine. And that goes to 476-533. Is that you, Mia?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Hands for our,
All right. Congratulations. It's a great issue.
You know what, I think that you didn't take it out of the right bucket.
Oh, that wasn't the one that you meant to put your ticket into?
No, I did put my ticket in the middle bucket and you took it out of that. So that magazine was in that other bucket.
Oh, did they get
Yeah.
switched around? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I have to decline. But thank you.
Thank you. So does that mean everything is good?
No, everything else was great.
All right, the last 3 numbers, 551.
that's you.
All right, please come up. Fun magazine, and if you're not into traditional quilts, their companion magazine is simply, I don't know if you're supposed to say modern or modern, but it's a nice magazine as well for contemporary quilting. All right, and now are we ready?
Yes.
All right, so our first 2 admission tickets go to Deb Burke. So thanks for joining us today, Deb. And then Mary Nelson has our $25 gift certificate to Twin Cities Quilting. So Mary, make sure you put your name, address, contact information in the chat, and then we'll get that out to you.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Anything else to come before our meeting, before we adjourn? Remember, if you brought something for the free table and it's still there, it needs to go home with you. Make sure you take a packet. Brenda, a question about the packets was that when they take the packet, should they put their name on the Post-it note? And we don't know. There's no accountability.
No accountability. 100% trust.
We just trust quilters. We just trust you. If you really have a free week or weekend or whatever, and there's just nothing on your calendar, stop by the Quilting Brothers table. They have blocks to piece, they have quilts to bind, quilts to quilt, and they love your help. And there's no timeline on that either. Whenever you get to it, they're happy when it's finished. So think about doing that with some of your free time. If you're just mastering some machine quilting, whether it's domestic or long arm, pick up one for quilting. It's a great way to practice and get better. Trying to learn feathers, what better way to practice but on a Quilting Brothers quilt. Well, thank you for coming today, and we'll see you in March, either virtually or in person. And we love keeping together, so follow us on Facebook, Instagram, pay attention to your emails, Thursday Thimbleful. We try to think of every way that we can reach you and let you know what's happening in the world of Minnesota quilting. Thank you.